what did you marinate the steak in? Because it's out of this world. You're killing me with it.
No.
It's a family secret. Oh.
Come on, you gotta tell me that. What's the secret? Come on, you could do it. Come on. That is one of the best goddamn steaks I ever had in my life. Ever. What's the family secret recipe?
It's ground garlic and a little bit of soy.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I thought it was a family secret.
It's your recipe.
No. No. You said to me, this is a family secret. And you gave it up to me, boom. Just like that. You spilled the secret family recipe today. Maybe you spill a little something about me tomorrow. Hmm?
Look, I was just saying that.
You were just saying. Just saying gets people sent away. Just saying got me a 9-year stretch in Alcatraz. You understand? So, just saying could get you buried real quick. Look at his face.
Let's do it.
Now, everybody's been talking shit about Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp hasn't had a good few years. You know?
Okay, are you saying people talking shit about Johnny Depp prior to Black Mass?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking about Transcendence.
Oh.
I'm talking about Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
I didn't see that one either.
I'm talking about Mordecai.
Yeah, I skipped that one too.
You see what I'm saying?
I just figured, if he's gonna keep putting up shit, I'm not gonna watch it. Even how quirky a character he could be.
Yeah, it's.
And I know
like,
he kills it, but
it's almost like
if I want to pay for him to prance around and get into character, I'll watch a Tim Burton film.
Right. So, Johnny Depp is a little bit on a downward spiral here.
Even though he makes money, though, right? I mean,
he still. I think he still claims his checks, but like I said, a lot of these movies, man, they are not reaching the box office success. Mordecai was one of the biggest flops of the year. Mm-hmm. Transcendence was one of the biggest flops in the United States. It saved itself internationally, but in the United States, flop. The Lone Ranger, flop.
I didn't see that one either.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you.
I knew better. I knew better. I was like...
So, he needed to dial it back a bit. I mean, but you've seen Tusk, though.
I did, but I didn't... To be honest, I didn't know he was going to be in it.
Right. But once people found out that he was in it, he's not the highlight of the film.
Just another quirky character, another kooky, Johnny Depp in makeup.
So... He needed to switch his style up real quick. And then Scott Cooper came in and picked him up for Black Mass.
And this is a young director, just basically this is his third film?
Third film. But he was an actor, too. Okay. From what I gather, he's an actor as well.
I saw Crazy Heart and I remember that being good.
It was like the country music version of The Wrestler.
Oh yeah. My man, that's pretty good. I like that.
Right. It's like the country music version of The Wrestler. I
didn't see it Out of the Furnace, but I didn't hear that. Yeah. I mean, I remember you just saying
I saw it. It was disappointing.
Yeah. It wasn't an ensemble though, but man.
Again, yeah, it's a great ensemble. He knows how to bring out great performances from actors. This Scott Cooper guy, he knows how to bring authenticity from his actors. One of the best performances I've seen from Christian Bale and Zoe Saldana is Scott, is in Out of the Furnace. Overall, it's a very disappointing film with a very disappointing third act. But, I can appreciate the performances he brings out. From his actors. And I can see, even though Out of the Furnace was a flop and it didn't get any awards. It actually got mixed reviews and everything. I can see why actors said, I want to work with this guy. Because he brings out an intensity for his from his actors.
Yes, he does.
So Black Mass is something that's no different when it comes to actors. It's got a huge ensemble cast. Man. It's a crime saga in the vein, right?
Johnny Depp, Joel Edgerton, Benedict Cumberbatch, Kevin Bacon, Jesse Plemons, Corey Stoll, Peter Sarsgaard,
Adam Scott,
Rory Cochrane, dude from Dazed and Confused, right?
Yeah.
And Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson is the one I found it to be the weakest.
She was, but then again, she didn't get much screen time. It was only in the beginning of the film.
Right.
I think she only, to be honest, she only got 3 scenes.
3 scenes. 3 strong scenes, but like the last one was the toughest scene for her to, and I don't think she could have. I don't think
she didn't keep up with Johnny Depp for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I liked her too in it. Like, I seriously loved every motherfucking whether it be like the guy that Jesse Plemons, the one that kicks his ass in the beginning, happens to be husband of a cousin of the Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Like, I love that guy. Like, I loved every character I loved Boston. Boston was a character in this film, much as Compton was a character in Straight Outta Compton. I just love that this film captured a moment. It's a period piece. It captured a moment in time in Boston. It captured Boston as far as the people in the neighborhood. Just Boston seems like such like a tight-knit group of people, whether they be bad or good.
Right.
Mostly bad. And according to this film and films like The Town and Mystic
Departed.
River and, The Departed, like it just shows you that every city has a bad side to it.
Why don't you go and fill us in with the storyline,
man?
In case people don't know.
Oh man, where do I start? I mean, this is a film about an Irish American mobster named James Whitey Bulger, who terrorized a neighborhood since the 70s.
Since the 70s.
And this guy was just this street punk. I imagine that he started off as a street punk and became a kingpin. And that's with the help of a childhood friend in the neighborhood who happens to be an FBI agent.
John
Connolly.
You got 2 minutes.
All right, I'm going to cut right to it. I have it on very good authority that Gennaro Angiulo is planning to have you murdered.
Is that so? And how does he plan to achieve that?
That's the kind of information that my side gets. And that's the kind of information that we can provide.
John, do you know what I do to rats?
It ain't ratting, Jimmy. It's an alliance.
An alliance between me and the FBI?
No, between you and me. I can help you, Jimmy, and you can help me. I'm not trying to clean up Southie. I love this place. I'm interested in the North End. I'm interested in the Mafia, and I bet you are too.
That's 2 minutes.
Played, to be honest, beautifully by Joel Edgerton. To be honest, I like everyone. I'm gonna just let you know that I'm gonna big up everybody in this film. He has a brother, William Billy Bulger, who's actually the senator of Boston. And so basically, it's about Connolly and Bulger creating an alliance between the mob and the FBI, and that's just something that seems poisonous. It seems like it's not gonna end well, and for a lot of characters, it doesn't.
No.
We have Jesse Plemons, who was Muscle, as Kevin Weeks, which opens up the film. And I guess these are just like people that are testifying against Bulger. So we get present time, and then we get back in the 70s and the 80s where Whitey Bulger, played by Johnny Depp, wreaked havoc in the neighborhood of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty much the basis of what Black
I mean,
is?
that's basically, man.
It's about Whitey Bulger being in the pocket of the FBI and him getting away with murder, extortion, drug trafficking, gun trafficking, weapons, you name it. What else? Prostitution. Like, man, this guy was just in the hands of everybody.
He was
this was a man that was disguising these awful atrocities, social atrocities, with things like, oh, I'm just helping out my people. Like, I'm just helping out this old lady get his groceries.
Aren't gangsters normally
They're like that?
though?
They're like that, though. I'm a man of the people, but I'm the man of the people that if you wrong me, I'm going to kill you. Like, don't wrong me. Like, do right by me, and you won't get killed.
He was the number 2 on the FBI's most wanted list behind Osama bin Laden. Yeah.
This is a bad dude. This is a bad motherfucker. And Johnny Depp, to be honest, if we were going to go with the generic back, inform, like this guy was... Johnny Depp was so good in this film.
Before we go into Johnny Depp, did you know that Jack Nicholson's performance in The Departed is based off Whitey Bulger?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
You didn't? What?
Somebody told me.
Oh my gosh!
I was just like, nah.
I can't believe you didn't know this.
I didn't.
Oh my!
I really did.
Yeah. So this is the basis of a film, The Departed, which is also the basis of it was a Japanese film, Infernal
Affairs. Yeah. Now, you like Johnny Depp's performance, I'm assuming.
Hell yeah, man! This guy was scary. I mean, his receding line was crazy. You know what I mean? He just looked the part. He was as if, let's just parallel portrayals of Heath Ledger as the Joker and Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger. I mean, this guy became Whitey Bulger, like down to his Boston accent,
to his belly.
To his belly. That dude was fat. He was eating good though. I mean, they were making so much money they didn't know what to do with it.
That's true. Now, I see.
You want to get in it? Yeah, I mean, I'm praising. I feel like I'm praising it, and
you
like,
are
and you want to,
and
you want to be like, that's without an asterisk here. Like, let me tell you a little something about this film.
It's about that time.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you go in.
It's about that time.
I'm gonna let you go in.
I'm gonna
as you do, as you Ray MK all day. Let's go.
I'm gonna have to. I'm just gonna have to. This movie has an identity crisis. I feel like this movie.
Speak on it, bro.
I think this movie is a kind of a missed opportunity. It's a great character, Whitey Bulger, and I think Johnny Depp knocked that out of the park for sure. He knocked it out of the park. But I think they picked the wrong person or the wrong character to be the lead, the perspective. I think it needed to be Joel Edgerton's John Connolly,
which I don't get. Like, I feel like they were. John Connolly was basically the one spearheading this whole operation. Yeah. It almost seemed like it wasn't even Whitey Bulger's idea. It was,
exactly. That's why we needed to follow mostly John Connolly, because we do follow John Connolly quite a bit. It's almost like they're neck and neck when it comes to the lead. But I wanted to see more John Connolly, because the way Johnny Depp is portraying Whitey Bulger is like the sadistic monster, the devil. And like this movie, it's almost like John Connolly's making a deal with the devil. And once you make a deal with the devil, you can never go back. Hence the transformation of being, from being this FBI guy with with a big ambition, turning into like just a scumbag, just like the rest of them.
Like he went from like office
clerk to
gangster.
Exactly. There are moments in the film where like even the wife sees the change. She says like, "Oh, you're changing."
I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene. It's a great scene, but you don't see the change.
Is that a new suit? It's flashy, no? Those lapels, that tapering. See, you got a nice new gold watch there too.
What are you getting at, Marion?
I'm not getting at anything.
Marion?
You're dressing differently. You're walking differently. You're getting manicured.
I'm walking differently.
Yeah, I think you are. Your head and your shoulders, the way you carry yourself, you're changing, John.
I might be getting older, but I'm not changing.
It's Jimmy Bulger that's changing you.
Here we go.
Ever since you locked arms with that guy, you've changed. I can see it like the nose on my face. He's bad news, John.
It's not bad news. He is an informant. It's my job. You know this. I've told you this. I've known him since forever.
And you certainly hold your boyhood heroes in high regard. Jimmy this, Jimmy that.
He was very good to me when I was little, Marion. That's all you need to know.
How was he good to you, John? Did he take you trick-or-treating?
I know. It's kid stuff. To you, maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a drive. Like it or not, Marianne, you married a street kid. And the streets taught me that you give and you get loyalty from your friends. And loyalty means a lot to me.
Do you understand what I'm saying? It's almost like the
I feel like when
the transformation
he makes
is
the big
not
bust
there.
on the Italians, when he gives the wink, that's when we see, oh, this is the man that is now a part of the Winter Hill gang.
This guy is a straight up just like a fucking clown, man. Like this John Connolly character, he was like the bitch of all bitches. I swear, he was like he sounded
straddling the Whitey Bulger dick.
Yeah,
or
and he sounded like a weasel. Like when the way he talked was weaselly. Like I felt like he was, like
why wasn't he busted a long time ago? Why was his badge taken away?
He seemed so like. And
I can't believe the FBI even took this guy's lead. I can't believe Kevin Bacon didn't sit this motherfucker down, but like, look.
But it was just like the excuses sometimes he would give to the
gonna
FBI.
end well.
Like sometimes the excuses he would give the FBI are so appallingly bad that sometimes I feel like this movie should have been a dark comedy. Like because he gets away with murder. The way Whitey Bulger screwed with the FBI and got away with it, it's almost mind-boggling. Like because it's really like a farce of you made the Boston side of FBI like look like a fucking joke. So to me, it was almost like this has to be a comedy. Like obviously they opted to go with the Martin Scorsese route. But it was very interesting. Now it's almost like the reason why Joel Edgerton's John Connolly wanted to side with Bulger was to get rid of all the other gangs. We don't
get rid of the Italian mob who was reigning king, and basically were immigrants in the eyes of the Irish.
But we don't ever see them.
Which kind of funny because they were immigrants themselves. So
we don't ever see them. You ever notice that? We don't ever see the war. Like we only see like
Polaroid pictures of them in
It's almost like how does Whitey Bulger know this information when we never see them interact with each other?
Well, you're right. They glaze over the Italians quite a bit.
A lot.
The only time you see a hit is when the guy that's on the motorcycle,
the drive-by.
Yeah, with the Italian flag in the back of the motorcycle, pops that one dude when he's eating like a hot dog or something like that, and that was retaliation, because that was one of the Winter Hill gang's cronies,
right?
But yeah, that's about it. That's about the only thing that the Italian mob does to the Winter Hill gang. Like, is that means we're gonna take over?
And just like that, you found all this information on this guy, but we never see how you get this information. How does Johnny Depp's Whitey Bulger knows what he knows? You know what I mean?
How did he get that envelope into his glove compartment, John Connolly's?
Things like that you just go, well, you just go with it.
Okay,
you just go with it. And I was just like, it's almost like they cheat, they cut the line. Like when you're going out you gotta wait in line before you get on the ride, right? They're like they try to use that fast pass.
Well, this wasn't the Italian mob experience in Boston. This was the Irish.
Yeah, but because of that, all it just felt is just like it almost felt like Cliff Notes. Like I was watching Cliff Notes, and then like in between Cliff Notes, Johnny Depp just killed somebody out of the random. He just killed Juno Temple out of the random. Like you don't know
prostitute.
Yeah, but like it just came out of nowhere.
Stepdaughter or the daughter of one of his one of his henchmen, who's having a sexual relationship with. Like that's just nasty.
Well, you know what they're gonna do. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here gonna judge you about
Juno Temple hardly gets screen time. I loved her in this film too.
This is another.
That was a scary. That was Johnny Depp scared me in this film.
You know what that
He
scene...
scared me in this film. Like, I was like, bitch, you are gonna die.
I mean, you knew that shit was gonna happen the minute she stepped into the car. What I liked is that they kept the focus on the partner.
Yeah.
What's his name? Damn it, what's his name?
Dude from Dazed and Confused.
What's his name, Peter? Stephen Fleming?
Rory Cochrane, Stephen the Rifleman, right?
Stephen. That was him? Yes.
Yes.
And Rory Cochrane was amazing.
Yeah, he was.
And they kept the focus on him throughout that murder scene. That it was just amazing. Right. Oh, hold on a second. Somebody's opening the door. What's going on? Oh, what's up, baby?
Oh, you can get in on this too?
Okay. All right.
She see the film too?
Yeah, oh yeah, you know she saw the film. What's up, baby? Oh, okay, we got good news. No, well, we in the middle of recording, baby. What you doing?
You know what else was pretty good in this film?
What you doing, baby?
Who only gets like 3 scenes tops? Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Man, my man. This is hothead who was coked up and one of these liaisons.
He looked like he was coked up every time.
Heck yeah, but you know what the thing is that with the 3 pivotal scenes, he played a character that I felt like could have had longevity, but I guess doesn't.
Brian, take the bag. I want you to have it. Yeah, I want you to have it.
To do the hit on Wheeler?
No, that's $20,000 for you to not do the hit.
I'm okay.
Take the money, keep your mouth shut about what you just heard. It's best you're not involved. Take the money, take the money, take the money.
Okay. So I should go now?
Yeah, you should go now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In real life, maybe he wasn't a part of that equation, but he made a. Let me make this point.
Go ahead.
He made a lasting impression on me, and he just his character resonated with me because this guy was just like, he was one of those Weasley guys, but he was one of the stupid ones that we're gonna pin. We can't find a way to get these people off our back. We're gonna get this guy. I like the fact where Johnny Depp in that scene was like, "Don't ever hand me a bag."
Right.
And that's why he's like, "Oh, this is a present to you." And he's like, "Okay."
The difference between this movie and the movie
nail in the coffin for that guy.
The movie like Everest and movie like this is that there's a lot of actors that just show up to make like a scene, but they're not underused.
No,
these actors are used to their full potential.
I love everyone in this film.
Even if it's an extremely limited role, like say Adam Scott. Strong performance from everybody.
He had a couple lines here and there, and he was good in it too.
From Kevin Bacon to Adam Scott, Corey Stoll.
Corey
Stoll was just.
How come no one has done Whitey Bulger? He seems to be involved in every crime in the city, and yet the Bureau keeps saying he's clean. It's only when another agency has an informant that I hear maybe Whitey isn't so squeaky clean.
Well, I hear that he's very careful. He doesn't use phones, that kind of stuff. And, who did you say these other informants were?
I didn't.
Listen, from what I hear, his criminal days are all but over. His partner and him, they gone legit.
Christ, Conley. Is Whitey never using phones and careful, or is Whitey retired?
I'm not in my office. These are things that I hear. I don't know if all of them are true.
Do your job and find out.
I can't rave about this guy enough. This guy is just.
I love the fact where
is the movie star.
He knows. John Connolly, Joel Edgerton's character, knows that you got to play the game. He's a politician. He's a gangster. He's an FBI agent, and all in one. And when this new, I don't know if he's like a district attorney or just this new guy on the force comes into play, he's like, "Hey, I got ticket
Try to bribe this
to
motherfucker.
the Boston, the Boston,
Hey,
the
I got these ballpark tickets. You want to come with me? Like, well, no, motherfucker. I'm here to
do your job. Do your job.
Whoa. Like,
whoa. I'm the partner.
Now, you see what you're doing there, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the raving, but you're only raving about the performances.
Hands down, because the performances are so fucking
but you're not raving about anything else.
Now
I go back. This is a missed opportunity because again, we get a little bit of insight into Bulger's life, not enough.
Mm-hmm.
How does his brother, who's Cumberbatch's performance, he's the senator. How does their relationship? How do they? Like the fact that they're, doing what each other's doing. He's a senator. He's a gangster. They're complete opposites.
Yeah.
He's
definitely a fan. Bulger was a family man. His son died.
Does Cumberbatch help him? They don't let us know. Does Bulger help Cumberbatch?
Mm-hmm.
Does it help Billy? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's one of those questions
they don't delve into it.
They don't dive into it at all. And I go, well, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just so you can have this character here, there's so much juicy info that we could take advantage of that just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there, wasted. I go, what a shame.
Mm-hmm.
And then and it gets dragged through the story of how everybody is asking about, how is Whitey Bulger still being protected? And, Connolly keeps protecting him with these stupid bullshit stories that any man with common sense would just be like, no way. And they, this doesn't make any sense. And
maybe it just shows you back then the Boston Police Department was just as crooked as the It
didn't look like they were crooked. It looked like they were stupid. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is they just stretch out that story again and again and again. It's like, information
deep in the files. They sweep it under the rug.
But the story's like information about Bulger. Connolly stops it. Then and bullshits. Then Bulger kills somebody. Again. Repeat.
And David Harbour. I forgot to mention David Harbour, the guy that's kind of the one in cahoots with
Harbour.
John Connolly. David Harbour played John Morris.
Yes.
Even he had that one scene with Johnny Depp, that stare off about
I will say
the
that
steak.
This movie to me is like a movie that is simply a solid good movie, but that happens to have
it's
number.
Quality over quantity.
It definitely has a number about I would say 4 iconic scenes. Mm-hmm. These scenes
I counted more though.
I think these scenes are iconic. Mm-hmm. The scene in the dinner, with the secret recipe.
Yeah.
The scene where Bulger's talking to his son.
Mm-hmm.
The scene when Bulger goes and sees Connolly's wife to make sure she's okay. And let me say, Julianne Nicholson is steals the show every time she's in the movie.
That whole transaction, just the whole whatever transpires between the two of them, just felt something just really disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like she got violated without even taking her pants off. It was just really this creepy moment where he puts hands on her.
And the fourth scene is the fourth iconic scene is the death of Peter Sarsgaard.
Oh.
Yeah. To me, those are the 4 iconic scenes.
It's crazy. I knew it was coming, but I was like, please don't. Please, I felt like I was Peter Sarsgaard on the floor, with the hand out, oh man, don't shoot.
This movie threw you in for a loop, man.
To be honest, okay, next to Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger, and I don't know why, but Peter Sarsgaard, what was his name? Brian Halloran?
Let me see. I think so.
Yeah. He was just one of my favorites.
Oh,
he only gets 4. I was like, what a shame. You weren't on screen that much, but you were fun.
Right.
You were fun while it lasted.
I mean, it was definitely that. It was just the story dragged because it kept on repeating the same old situation. Bulger kills somebody. Somebody's trying to snitch. Connolly stops snitching. and Bulger kills him, and he, you know, it's not until Corey Stoll comes into the picture that the movie starts picking up again.
Wow,
for me.
you know, it's crazy when you say that. When Corey Stoll comes in the picture, it comes in late.
Yeah, and it starts picking up for me. Now, that it's not saying that there's no iconic moments in the middle of the movie. Like I said, there are, but the story just drags. And I see, and as I'm watching this movie, I see a lot of different juicy information that could have added to the movie, but that nobody's taking advantage of it. You know, and I see it as a mixed opportunity. And then by the time the movie's over, I go, wow, I wish I got to see more. I wish I got to know more of these characters.
I like how you say when the film ends, it ends abruptly.
Yes, it does.
And you feel it. And you feel like,
it
man,
really
you
does.
almost felt like, wow, did these guys run out of
Because this
tape?
movie, it's almost like...
Was it a long film, too? I didn't feel like it was...
2 hours. You know, like, apparently they cut out a whole character. Sienna Miller's. Yeah, they cut her out completely for time reasons. I'm like... You know, this movie could have used more character development from all... Like, I see a lot of great things happening. Like I said, a lot of iconic moments, but the characters aren't developing. Do you know what I'm saying? No development in these characters. Like, and then it just...
It plays as written,
and then,
I feel like.
And
the way you're saying it, I think it just feels like
and it's just going through the motions until they said, wait a minute, we're running out of time. Let's just cut to like 10 years later. Like, just cuz. And I go, really? I guess. You know, I wish I would have known more. I wish I would have known where he went. Things like that. You know,
they ended up...
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, okay.
You know, but...
Which was recently, right? 2011?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, he's old, and he's serving 2 consecutive life sentences back to back.
I don't know why people...
Dude's like,
I don't know why the system...
80s? Like, what the...
I don't know why the system does that shit. Like, 2 life sentences. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Does that just like, you know, before the judge put the
your dead body's still gonna be in the cell, motherfucker. Like, I don't know. Like I said, great acting, great casting.
Right.
There are iconic moments that I can't help but love. And I'm going to give this a very good review, but like I said, this movie goes through the motions, and to me it's disappointing because I thought I was going to get like a Departed. I was going to get a Goodfellas. I was going to get a Casino. I didn't. I didn't get that. I got something almost as good, but not, you know, something that was trying to be almost as good, but wasn't. Like I said, I'm going to plan on giving it a good review. My review is 3.5. 3.5 because of the performances. And the directing on the actors is great. Like, that's never been Scott Cooper's problem. It's the story. He doesn't know how to push movie forward. He doesn't know how to end his films, as far as I can see from his last 2 movies. You know, he needs to work on that kind of stuff, but this movie is definitely worth watching. It's not boring. You know, it's people who love gangster films, this is that gangster.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. What do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. Nothing about this picture is glitzy, glamorous like Goodfellas was. Martin Scorsese just is the kind of filmmaker. He's a seasoned filmmaker. This guy's only made 3 films. But he's a seasoned filmmaker that knows the lifestyle because he grew up in that lifestyle. And, you know, he can put the Dean Martin and just like the soundtrack of these, the gangsters, of the old-fashioned, you know, gangsters. This film is dark, it's gloomy, it's ominous, and like you said, it's a slow burn. It's very much, the pacing is really off. I have to agree with you that if it weren't the ensemble cast that did so perfectly well, that played each and every character to the T, I think if we got subpar acting, the film would have just been a great disappointment. Like, I agree with you hands down on everything you just said right now. I'm going to give it a better rating than you are going to. I like the fact that everybody played their key roles. Everybody did. I'm not downing anybody in this film. Like, all the characters were just
I can't really mention a bad performance in this movie. This is definitely one of the best ensemble movies of the year.
It's not pretty, it's not glamorous, but violence and gangsters are not. You know, they're made into iconic films, like Ray said, as far as the Scorsese's, and, you know, Brian De Palma with Scarface, and just like, if you want to see those films, I mean, those are just way superior gangster films. This film is just about a bad guy, from the neighborhood that wreaked havoc, and there's nothing in this picture that makes you feel good. And matter of fact, I felt like, man, I really need to see something else afterwards, because it ends ominously.
Go see Everest.
It ends honestly. You know how like you get like at the end you got the whole like blurb about what happened to each and every person.
Yeah.
They played this really dark, scary like music in the background, and we actually sat through the whole thing, and I was just like, man. That did not make me feel good at all.
No.
But it's crime. It's a crime film, crime drama that was really well acted. Just not really well developed, like you said. But based on performances alone, I would say based on performances, if I were giving this film, if it were combined of the performances and the storyline, it could have been a 5-star perfect film. But it's not.
I'm not leaving you behind, Doug. Come on. No, Doug, come on with me. I need 10 good minutes, Doug. Come on. Please, Nicky, come on, man. 10 minutes. We get to the bottom of the step. Come on, this leg, Doug. Come on. Come on.
That was good.
There we go.
That's good for Fred.
But I had to agree with this. Really over a lot of weight on the way that Johnny Depp, that he's a good frontrunner for.
Come on, Dougie!
Yeah, no, I think he
let's go,
definitely
hurry up!
merits a nomination, and I think Edgerton can get a nomination as well. I definitely think that he deserves. If Johnny Depp deserves, but. Yeah, I'm glad you like the movie.
Yeah, I mean, based on performances, I raved about it, but I do agree with you about the pacing of the film and the storyline's weak when it could have been great. Like you said, they really could have
taken advantage
to utilize Whitey Bulger's story and get into Whitey Bulger's head, not only Whitey Bulger's head but Connolly's head, and what they do here just merely display the events that occurred.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Oh yeah, that's the reviews for this week. Check us out next week. What's playing next week? Eli Roth's The Green Inferno.
That one's coming out?
Yeah, I don't know if I can watch that though.
The Intern?
You know what? I actually,
the thing is Cynthia was
I be liking my white people problems movies.
That's like a date night for me and Cynthia next.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I be like,
really
I like these white people problem movies, And then we also got Hotel Transylvania 2
for the kids,
for the children. So check us out next week. If you need to contact us, my Twitter name is RayRayMK, RayReimk. Peter?
It's PETEYMK.
And we out.
Jimmy, when did you get out of Alcatraz?
Oh, that's nearly 10 years ago.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back in the neighborhood, son.